Good afternoon, Chair and members. First, I would like to start by saying that I accept the staff recommendations on conflicts of interest for the new members. Existing law establishes by the State 911 Advisory Board, which is composed of 11 members who meet quarterly in public sessions and are appointed by and served by the pleasure of the governor. AB 2453 will increase the membership to 15 members. The board advises the California 911 Emergency Communications Branch on policies, practice, and procedures, technical and operational standards for the California 911 system. The board's purpose is to provide valuable expertise and technical input on the future of the 911 system. The 911 system is now adopting exciting new and developing technologies, including software, hardware, and equipment that is increasingly complex and expensive. This includes the Next Generation 911 or Next Gen 911 system, which enables the public to transmit text messages, images, videos, and data to a 911 center. These new technologies are being developed and marketed by numerous corporations and businesses. The 911 board is tasked to reviewing these technologies and making recommendations to the California 911 Emergency Communications Branch. The decisions they make could in turn mean the expenditure of hundreds of millions of dollars over the next decade. The 911 board does not currently have enough members who have a comprehensive technology background. Providing a more diverse and knowledgeable board will create a better 911 system. I'm here asking for your aye vote.
Terrific. Thank you very much. Let's go to your first witness in support. Any witnesses in support? Any public comment in support? Witnesses in opposition, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I'm Russell Nowak on behalf of the California Fire Chiefs Association and Fire Districts Association of California, and reluctantly opposing. We have dozens of the Assembly members' bills that we support, but this one, unfortunately, to date, our members have taken an opposed position. They think the configuration and the depth that are contained on the board at the 911 board at present is sufficient and efficient to do the job of it, and that there really is no compelling reason, since by statute the members of the 911 advisory board are, by experience and by expertise have the requisite expertise to do this, and we just object to the expansion from 11 to 15 members. And I have Melinda here who can provide more depth.
Let's go to the next witness.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Assemblyman. I'm Melinda Hunley. I am the president of the California Fire Chiefs Association's Communications Section. We have written a letter in opposition. Our concerns have been somewhat addressed in the conflict of interest and in the analysis. But one thing that we would like to point out that we weren't able to address before is the EMS portion, EMS addition to the board. EMS is represented in this board as it stands now. The current configuration of the board took into consideration very carefully when this board was created to make sure they included all jurisdictions, all disciplines, and all stakeholders. EMS currently, as far as emergency medical dispatch, is currently regulated by EMS through local EMS associations or LIMSAs. Every center in California that provides EMD, which is Emergency Medical Dispatch Service, must have local medical director control through their local EMS board. We also, in regards to the communications industry and public safety communications, it states that it is important to consult with the communications industry, but the board, as it stands now through the LRPC and the 911 working group, can at any time it is needed ask for consultants from the communications industry to come and consult with the board on the specific items that they are addressing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
Mr. Chair and members, Corey Salzillo here on behalf of the California State Sheriff's Association. I apologize, our opposition is not reflected in the analysis, and we talked with committee staff, and I think it was a technological snap.
We had problems with our fax machine, and you got to either get us by email or carrier pigeon on those days. So thank you.
So nevertheless, we apologize for that, but we have been in communication with the author and staff and are regrettably in opposition to the bill. I would associate my comments with those of Mr. Nowak, but just also simply add that the board is designed to be focused on emergency response, and that's why the board is focused on law enforcement and first responders. Also in regard to the amendments regarding conflict of interest, not that we would encourage that there be any potential for conflict of interest, but I would just caution the committee, given that Government Code Section 1090 does pretty elaborately detail the issues with conflicts of interest with members of boards and whether or not they have direct or indirect financial interest in a contract or other decision, just so that language doesn't inadvertently wrap up anybody. I mean, because you have members of the committee who will work for a fire department or who will work for a law enforcement agency who are employees of someone who may have, they might save money because a contract uses a different system. So I don't really have a specific example, but I just caution how that language works. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next witness.
Mr. Chair, Chris McKaylee, we are not in opposition. Filed a notice of concerns on behalf of the California Ambulance Association and felt obligated at this point to stand because our brethren at the fire chiefs and the sheriffs indicated that the advisory board is meant to capture everyone in EMS. However, private sector EMS is not covered in this advisory board. We have asked the assemblyman to include one representative of the California Ambulance Association. Private ambulance provides 82% of all 911 deliveries. So we would like to be included. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there public comment in opposition? Questions or comments from the panel? Mr. Chavez.
I want to thank the maker of the bill to come forward. I think it's an important issue, and I learned a lot on reading this. One of the things I was wondering, is this a paid board?
No, to the best of my knowledge, it's not.
So the only cost, I guess, incurred is the per diem and the travel.
I believe so, what we're finding out, yes.
Okay. From the maker of the bill, I was wondering if you could give me a little bit more on the conflict of interest issue and why you think this would not be a conflict.
Do you want to go ahead and answer?
Phil Horner, consultant to the Joint Legislative Committee on Emergency Management. We've had a number of discussions and a hearing last year on the 911 system. There are a lot of vendors who develop and sell technology to the 911 system. What is needed is a conflict of interest. We have received reports from individuals that some of the current board members have had contacts with people who are vendors. And so it is important to have conflict language in there so that people who are advising the 911 branch do so with the best interest of the 911 system. Is that responsive to your question?
So you don't think there's a conflict because you have why?
Well, no. There are possibilities for conflicts.
There are
absolutely, and the current board does not file a conflict of interest statement. So that is something that needs to be looked at and developed to make sure that a system that is going to be investing perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars over the next decade, that decisions are made in the best interests of the system.
Okay, and the last question is, was there any thought about replacing some of the current members with somebody else? Having had boards work for me when I was the secretary at CDVA, having large boards and things sometimes can really be a problem. So is there any thought about having, replacing some seats with others to keep it a manageable process?
No, we weren't looking at replacing nobody. If anything, just expanding it to the 4, adding the other 4 to 15. Some folks with the experience in technology, as we moved forward with the next generation 911, we just thought it would be important to have somebody with that background experience to sit on the board as well.
Well, just this discussion, I think you've really hit on an important issue about this board and probably looking at it, but maybe this isn't quite ready to go forward. So, but I appreciate what you're trying to do. I don't know if I'll be able to support it today.
Thank you. We have one more late arriving witness in opposition or public comment in opposition. We'll do that. We'll come back to questions or comments. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Chuck Burdan, representing the California chapters of the Association of Public Safety Communications Officials International, about 1,000 public safety communication members in California. We are in opposition to this bill.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back to, I believe Ms. Garcia has a question.
Thank you for the author. Can you respond to the comment from the opposition that these industries are already represented by the current board? And if so, why do we need the additional versus just if they're just at some point swapping up individuals who might have different expertise in that area?
At the beginning of last year, the Assembly Select Committee on emergency preparedness held a hearing on 911 location. The telecom companies were invited to testify, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and they said at that time that, and they described the system as a system within systems. It is an extremely complicated process. It's a complicated system that's getting even more complicated as technology grows and increases. They testified at that time that the 911 board does not really reach out to them. And in a system that's increasingly technological in nature, this bill is an effort to provide, not to supplant current board members, but to provide expertise that's needed.
And so why not just make it one seat versus 3 different communications? I mean, I guess that they would all be nested under communications, the 3 different they have there, but why not just make it one?
You know, we're working with OES, and I'm open to that suggestion as well, even just one. But just the fact that if we can have somebody on that board that comes from that background, that expertise, I think would be a big help, because as we're looking once again to the next wave of 911, next generation, we're not only going to be calling, texting, video conferencing, there's a lot of technology involved in that. Technology is changing as we speak.
And I apologize, I haven't had a chance to review the amendments, but in the amendments, do we have language specific to help prevent conflict of interest as we're selecting individuals, or?
Yes, we do.
Okay, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you. Member Garcia touched on why 4, why not 1? Well, what's the magic of 4?
Well, there really isn't. It's just a number we picked. I mean, I'm open to just 1 if that's the case. But at least we have 1 person on that board, which right now we don't.
Yeah.
So 4 was just a number we thought would be sufficient.
I am sympathetic with what you're attempting to do.
Yeah.
But I'm also a little bit interested and concerned about the law enforcement opposition. Is there a place here for compromise? Would 1 satisfy the opposition? Would 2? I do think there is mayor of the 5th largest city, state of California, for 8 years, I am familiar with the technological challenges, the operational challenges, and the modernization challenges for 911 systems. So I'm sympathetic, much so, to the idea of having really terrific technological people at the cutting edge of all of this, at the table advising. Is there a place for a compromise here?
Certainly on behalf of the fire chiefs and fire districts, I would certainly take this back, and we have been attempting to dialogue, and I think we're certainly always willing to sit down with the Assembly members, Rodriguez's office, and discuss this. We didn't offer that suggestion, Assembly Member Patterson, but I do think that part of the reason for the basis of the opposition, as you can tell, is the members of the group are public safety officials. They're state officials, they're police, sheriff, they're fire services, they're emergency services, and they're all dedicated and very knowledgeable in the 911 system. So I think that was certainly it would be something we could take back and certainly continue the discussions with the Assembly member as.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna reserve my vote here, but I am sympathetic. I would hope that we could be seeing something by the time it gets to a floor or moves on to where the public safety people and the technological people are in accord on this. And I think you could be close to that. And I'd encourage you to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have a question from Mr. Daly.
Actually, I just have a comment, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to support your bill today, and I'm going to encourage you to add one position and also just one. I'm going to reserve my no vote for the floor, but I'm going to give you a vote today. I'm actually going to move the bill, and I would like for you to also, I really think you're onto something with the conflict of interest. I think that's key to every member that's on that board needs to have a conflict of interest. I mean, that's just good public policy. Those two things, I think if we could get there, I think this is would be a great bill. So I will move the bill, and hopefully that'll happen before it comes to the floor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another question from Mr. Williams.
I also could support it if it was just one new appointee. I think the sensitivity from the fire chiefs and from the our representatives of our police and sheriffs is that even with overwhelming numbers on that board, you and I know that they've had a hard time having their voice heard. Sometimes by OES or others, and so if they have overwhelming numbers and they have their voice sometimes not heard, what happens if their voice is diluted? I think that's kind of the question, and why it looks like you'll get it out today. I'll reserve my vote, but I hope that you'll look at it at a more limited way, and I would be happy to support it on the floor if so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing and from conversations with members of the committee and also their comments, it sounds like it's the will of this committee to keep the bill here or put it out with the Garcia amendment. I don't want to do anything that's not, the will of the author as well. I don't know if you want to take that or if you want us to put it over for a week and do.
And just to clarify the amendment on assembly markers. Okay, yeah. I have no problem. Yes. I'm good with it. I'm willing to take those amendments.
Okay, so that's what we'll do then. Is we will change the analysis and we'll do the Garcia proposal, which you've taken, which I think will satisfy everybody here.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay, good. So, and then we'll need a motion. We need a motion as amended, as the next amended version.
Add one member to the committee.
Correct. To add one member to this committee. That's the amendment we're talking about now. Seems like we've got a good compromise. Do we have that motion? Terrific. All right. The bill as amended, as we just described, has been moved and seconded. Would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for your vote.
Thank you very much. Madam Secretary.
Motion is do pass as amended as described momentarily ago and re-refer to the Appropriations Committee. Gatto.
Aye.
Gatto, aye. Patterson.
Aye.
Patterson, aye. Burke.
Aye.
Burke, aye. Chavez.
Aye.
Chavez, aye. Daly. Daly, aye. Eggman. Christina Garcia.
Aye.
Christina Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia. Eduardo Garcia, aye. Hadley.
Not voting.
Hadley not voting. Roger Hernandez. Obernolte.
Aye.
Obernolte, aye. Quirk.
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Santiago. Ting. Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We'll do the amendments as the motion.
Sounds good. All right. Next, we have Assembly Bill 2339 with Ms. Irwin, and we're told that Ms. Irwin is outside and she'll be walking in shortly.